Hello, YouTube. Hello, hello. I just realized my nice ivy plant is not behind me. Let me set up IG Live and we're going to get into it. Lessons from business. Sorry, I need to concentrate in 5 years. Okay. We are ready to go live on Instagram and then we're going to get started. Hello, Instagram. Hello. Okay, we are live, YouTube and Instagram. Let's get into it. Funny fact, I actually tried to go live a couple of times this morning and YouTube wasn't working whatsoever. And I was like, I'm not going to double up on this live. I want to do them at the same time. And then Instagram stopped working. But here we are. I'm excited. I feel like I have a lot more energy to deliver this live that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the past 5 years in business. Hello to everyone joining me. Hello. I'm going to be talking about the past 5 years in business, and this is truly inspired by my brand new mastermind, which we've already had some signups. Become the CEO. Become the CEO is for female entrepreneurs to scale consistently from $10,000 months to $30,000 months. Consistently is a key word, but the overall Become the CEO movement is really about mastering yourself as a business owner, as a woman, and being able to create something that, yes, brings you consistent revenue, but also makes an impact, and you are able to design your life. And I'm going to take you back, right? I'm going to take you back to 2019. So buckle in. If you're watching here live, let me know. If you're watching the replay, also let me know. But I'm going to take you back to 2019, probably 2018. I had wanted to start a business for a long time. I think, when I say long time, I think that when I was 10 years old, I was saying to my parents, I'm going to become a CEO. I don't even think I knew at 10 years old what a CEO is or what that entailed, but I just knew that I was meant to do my own thing. That was at 10 years old. Fast forward around 2016, I then really started, this is when I was working in the fitness industry. And I have a reel on it. It's one of the pin reels on my page. But I was working in the fitness industry for years and years and years. I actually went to uni. I did 2 double degrees. And I decided, no, I want to be in the fitness industry. I don't want to work a 9 to 5, did the fitness industry. I also had hospo jobs. Fast forward, 2016, 2017. I started to really think, what would it be like to have my own business? What would it be like to also have freedom? Yes, financial freedom. But for me, what appealed the absolute most was having the freedom of my time. Something I really resented when it came to my jobs was actually having to listen to a boss, was actually having to do processes that I was like, this doesn't make sense, or this isn't the way I did it. When I was a personal trainer, before I became a gym manager, I had some autonomy, but there were moments where you have to, of course, talk to the PT manager or the owner of the actual gym, and you have to have sit down meetings and KPIs you need to reach as a personal trainer. I was like, I want to just have my own business. I don't want to be able to do this. Fast forward, I was a gym manager, and it was truly one of the moments, and I'm going to share with you a big moment that I experienced with my boss when I was a gym manager. And this, actually, I want you to go away. I didn't actually think I was going to speak about this particular part in my timeline of starting a business, but I think it's crucial, and it's something I have spoken about before, but it's an activity that I want you to go away and do, because honestly, even at this part of my life where I really hated being a gym manager, I hated having a boss, I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted my own business. I wanted everything that I wasn't currently doing at that point in time. This activity actually really changed my life and changed my perspective. And it's such a simple activity. And it's one day I went to my boss and he realized I was so disconnected. He was like, I can tell that you're not really in to this job. I can tell this isn't something you're really connecting with as a boss. What can I do? What can I do to help you? And I knew deep down that I didn't want to be there. I knew I wanted my own thing. I didn't even know what my own thing looked like. But he said, go away. And I want you to, for me, draw out your perfect ideal week. What would that look like? Now, of course, as my boss, he wanted me to draw an ideal perfect week that, of course, suited him, his business model, who he wanted me to be as a gym manager. And so what I did is I did 2 versions. I did one to appease the boss of what it would look like in my ideal week as a gym manager. and a coach as well, what it would look like, when I would ideally have shifts, if I would work in the gym, or if I was able to do remote home and work from home, remote work. And then I did another week where I actually wrote out my ideal week of what it would look like to have my own business, to work online. And I kept that. I probably still have it somewhere in my journals. And I kept that. And, the funny thing is, why it really changed my perspective is because I got so excited. I got so inspired, and I felt so connected to what I was writing down as my ideal perfect week. And a big value of mine is working in alignment with what inspires you, working in alignment with what you truly value. And I think that was one of the moments where I didn't quite know what was happening, but I knew that that's this feeling that I was feeling is what happens when you're inspired, when you're deeply connected to someone. And so this was like 2017 by this point. Anyway, go on, fast forward. It got to the point where I was just seriously hating it. I would have Sunday scaries. I wrote a post about this last night. But then let's skip to when I started the business, right? 2019. 2019, I still had that ideal perfect week. I had it in one of my journals. I moved to Bali. I quit my job. I had $700 in my savings. I quit my job, moved to Bali, and I started a business. And of course, I had fear. Of course, I remember saying to my dad, like, what if it fails? What if I make no money? What if I come back? And he goes, you come back. You get another job. You get a personal trainer job, or you do something else. And when you think about it that way, it neutralizes it. And part of my pillars of what I teach all my clients is the neutralization point. It neutralizes it because it becomes a reality. Too many people will try and create something but they'll put on the pedestal. They'll put it in the fantasy world. They don't see both the benefits and drawbacks. So that really helped me neutralize, because I was like, worst case scenario is actually I don't make any money. This business isn't successful. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I go back to Perth and I just get another job. But I knew deep down that in me, the fire was like, no, this path that you are currently on, you are meant to be on. So you got to do anything you possibly can to make this work. And I made it work. And that ideal week, there's one section on my ideal week that I still to this day, I put Tuesdays, and I would visualize in my head too, like Tuesdays on my Google Cal would be like my client calls ideally. And that would just like be blocked out for a lot of client work. And that became my day. That became my main client call day, my main client work day. And so I brought that into it. And why I wanted to share and start with that is because I have a lot of conversations with business owners. I have a lot of conversations, even maybe you're watching this, maybe you're in a career, you want to start a business, or maybe you have a bit of a side hustle right now. You really don't know how to put all your energy into it, or you feel like you're in this stop-start motion. And this is part of the reasons why I have created Become the CEO, which has quite literally taken me 5 years to refine the strategies that I'm teaching in it. I know that everyone on the internet whips up some form of business mastermind or program or course, but this I really wanted to take my time with. This is something I could have been ready in probably 2022, but I kept putting it off, not in the fear of like, oh, self-sabotage. It was like, there are concepts of mine that I will be teaching that I'm like, I really want to refine this methodology and teach it to my current clients. Now, back to my timeline. It's 2019, the first year of business. And, I see success. I hit monetary moments, like goals that I had. And now in 2024, I'm in my 5th year of business. And this year has been quite a reflective year on what's happened, because almost in the past 2 years, I kind of put the brake on a little bit. And now I'm kind of taking my feet off the brakes and putting my feet back on the pedal to go full speed. And some of the things that I've really learned along the way that I want to share with you that are actually going to be, when it comes to running a business and scaling a business, too many people want to just build a business, the bare minimum, and then they want to scale it really, really, really fast. And they don't want to actually make it decent. They don't want to make it something of impact. If you're just here to make money really, really quickly, if you're just here to have a quick win, this probably isn't for you. This probably isn't going to resonate with you. Everything that I do, and hence why Become the CEO has been something that I've created over a long period of time. It's because I believe in a long-term vision. I believe in living and behaving in alignment with your values, getting to really know what your values are, getting to really understand what your version of success is, and be able to live in your values and what inspires you. And this goes back to what I was saying about when I got given that task and I wrote out 2 different weeks. One would go to my boss, one was for me. The feeling inside of me and being super inspired about that second week, that's the feeling that I want every business owner to be able to feel. And it was a very over the past 5 years of this business, there's been many, many moments that I've reflected back on where I have felt completely disconnected from parts of my business, completely disconnected from who I am as a business owner. And when you feel disconnected, that is something to listen to. But part of my work, the Woman Mastery methodology, is all around building that relationship with yourself first to be able to have these conversations as a business owner. There are too many business owners that just want to make money fast, put things out there, try go viral, try reach some form of success, but they actually don't do the foundational work, which is the most important, which is who you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, your identity. And inside the mastermind Become the CEO, there are 4 pillars: CEO identity, CEO visibility, CEO strategy, and CEO influence. And this is all around your identity as a woman, just a woman, full stop, and then your identity as a business owner, because that's actually where, and this is why it's the first pillar. That's where I see most. The 3 other are very strategic, right? But it's a blend of strategy, personalized feedback, and energetic concepts. But it's more, the other 3 are strategic, more masculine energy when it comes to sales, when it comes to content creation, when it comes to messaging. And then understanding yourself and how you perceive yourself is the most important way in business. It is the most important way. And this is one of the biggest lessons that I can truly give to you after the past 5 years, is the way that you see yourself as a business owner. This is why the mastermind has become the CEO. CEO doesn't have to mean like a boss and an owner of a multi-billion-dollar company. If that's your version of success, incredible. But if your vision as a CEO is, hey, I want to make $10,000 months consistently, and I want to be able to pay off all my tax in a timely manner, plus take my partner on a trip every couple of months, and be able to pay for the gym that I actually want, not just like a cheaper version of a gym. That's what success, that's what becoming the CEO means, is like identifying what that actually looks like, your perceived version of success, getting that out. That's normally the surface level. This is what I'm literally going to tell you something. I had a conversation with one of my clients today, is at that surface level, what you're first thinking right now, that's your 2x, right? Your 2x lens, that's the bare minimum. I want you to like turn up the notch on that and understand your identity. If you were to 10x this concept isn't mine, it's Dan Henry's and Russell Brunson's, I'm pretty sure, but I'm more privy to the Dan Henry explanation of 10xing your lens, 10xing your future vision of yourself. And this is what most business owners, why I'm spending so long talking about this, is because out of everything that I've learned in business, take away the strategy side, which I'm going to get into, the way you perceive yourself. And I don't just mean let's just get on the camera and fake it till we make it. That only works to a degree, because hello to everyone joining on YouTube. If you are just perceiving yourself, like let's say you set up your camera, you're like, I'm going to go talk on my stories and I'm going to like step into this persona of this business owner that has it all together, all of that, right? That is only going to go so far as a screen. You can fake it till you make it. Absolutely. I am sure there is probably like 80% of coaches out there. It doesn't matter what you do, business, mindset, confidence, hormones, weight loss, feminine, masculine energy. It doesn't matter what you do. You can fake that easily. But at the end of the day, it's around how you perceive yourself and how you are acting as a business owner. There are too many business owners that want to be a CEO, that wants to tap into their version of success, but they don't actually act like that behind the scenes. They'll put it on in their content, in their cameras, all of that, but they don't know, how can I actually tap into that way of being in my business and to get the results that I want. And so the CEO identity, what we work on and become the CEO mastermind, is something that I'm going to spend a lot of time with as a group, but also individually with each of the women, because I think it's such an important part that, yeah, it's one thing, set up your camera and fake it till you make it. But if you're coming off camera and everything behind is burning, as it like metaphorical burning to the ground, it's never going to stick. What you really want to create in your business, the results, like your business is an extension of you. And this is something that I lost along the way when it came to my business. There are parts that I can reflect back over the past 5 years where along the way, I forgot that a business is meant to be an extension of yourself. Too many people, like your business shouldn't be your whole personality. It shouldn't be your whole identity, because then it's just like when people become mums and their whole identity becomes a mum, or when someone becomes a girlfriend, boyfriend, and their whole identity becomes that. We don't want that. We want everything that external to us, whether that is a business, whether that's an investment, whether that's a relationship or a friendship, whether that's a materialistic purchase. We want all of that to be an extension of us, of who we are. This is why the identity, the subconscious identity work is so important. And I will be speaking about it till I'm blue in the face, because if you're not setting yourself up for success, everything else around you, the external things that are meant to be an extension of you, are going to feel hard. Or you're going to feel like, I'm putting in this work or I'm doing all this thing. Why is it so hard? And so that is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the past 5 years in business is, if I'm not operating in my business as if it's an extension of me and the things that are inspiring to me and the things that are value of me, it's going to feel like a grind. It's going to feel like an uphill battle, and I'm going to feel so disconnected. Back in, maybe it was 2022. 2022 was like a big year for me. There was lots that like burnt to the ground. If you are watching this and you astrologically know what happens, I'm a Gemini sun, I'm a Virgo moon, and I'm a Capricorn rising. So if you're watching this and you know what was happening in 2022, let me know, because 2022 for me in my business, it was like burning everything to the ground, but it was also very pivotal. But it showed me the things, and this is where I really started reflecting. It showed me the things that weren't extensions of me. Part of that was actually my podcast. The Jessica Pinili podcast is about, the next episode is going to be the 300th episode. But that required me to take about 6 months off of the podcast. And most people will keep pushing, or most people will, fake it till they make it or do this. No, I took it off completely. It's something that I started in 2018, and I felt like, oh my God, am I giving up the podcast? What am I doing? I felt so disconnected. I couldn't stand the thought of actually recording a podcast. Like, I couldn't. If you go back into the archives, you'll see there's a big chunk where I didn't record anything. And part of that is because it wasn't an extension of me anymore. It wasn't inspiring. It wasn't valuable. It wasn't fun for me. If your business isn't fun, if you're waking up every single day and you're thinking of tasks that are like a grind and you're overwhelmed, that these are indications. Like, number one, you should probably come in to become the CEO mastermind. But number two, these are indications that something needs to shift and change in your business, and for you to truly step up as a leader, the CEO in your business, the CEO in your life, taking control of your life. And the reason that I brought the podcast back is because I found what inspired me. I found really how it became an extension. It didn't have to be this whole part of me. Now, the other three things that I said are very strategy based, that will make or break your business, quite literally, that we go into become the CEO mastermind, is your content strategy, your content creation, how you look at that, the power of language when it comes to content, but also the power of language when it comes to messaging, the way you articulate what you're offering, your value, the transformation, the way you articulate who you are, your story, and what you want to share out in the world. And then from there, of course, sales. For the first 2 years, maybe 2.5 years in business, maybe even a bit longer, I reckon 3 years. No, 2.5 years. I did so many sales calls. And I became an excellent saleswoman. I have sold 40,000 USD packages in the DMs because I know how to sell. There are too many coaches now that teach you only to sell in the DMs, or don't do a sales call, or you just have to hold the right energy. That's bullshit. You need to learn how to sell. You need to get really good at understanding people and having conversations with people. It's not someone slides in and goes, hey, I'm interested in your coaching. Okay, here's a link. Bye. There's too many coaches out there now that are shaming that, okay, if I send a link to someone and they don't buy straight away, they're not my ideal person because they're not self-led. No, that's shame marketing. We're not here for that. We don't do that. Being able to have that, you know what that tells me about that coach is they don't know how to have proper sales conversation. They don't know sales psychology. They don't know how to have conversations with human beings. I've had many conversations. It doesn't mean coach for free. It doesn't mean do things in the DMs for free. It means have boundaries, win the conversations. But the reason why my retention rate for my clients is probably 87%, 90% is because I know how to have sales conversations from human to human. I know how to have sales conversations and sell on my stories. The platforms I sell: stories, YouTube, TikTok, the podcast, where else? My email marketing, Pinterest. Where else do I sell? There's probably other places that I've touched, like these main ones that people know. Because you need, at the end of the day, sales is an art. Having a conversation with a human is an art, but this feeds into your messaging. This feeds into your content, strategy-wise. This is what we'll be highly focusing on and become the CEO. Because like a house, you need a foundation. That's your identity. From there, you build up. You have the walls, you have the windows, you have the roof, right? That's your content, that's your sales, that's your messaging. And it's so important to learn those. And if you're just joining, what I said at the start is this group, this mastermind, Become the CEO, has taken me 5 years to build. I could have bought this out a couple of years ago because I knew these concepts. I knew what I was teaching. I've had many mentors. I have learned time and time again. I have a business degree. I've had many conversations. I've invested thousands upon thousands in the six figures I think we're at now from this year. But do you know why? Because I wanted to create a mastermind, a container for female entrepreneurs to actually go back to time and time again. They hit that $20,000 a month recurring 6 months time, and then they're like, you know what? I'm ready for the next. And to be honest, and working with a particular type of female entrepreneur, if you want to scale consistently to $10,000 to $30,000 per month, but all of which I touch on, yes, there's a different level of identity and leadership, but they can be used for beyond that. And that was one of the most important things for me for this business as well, is how do I know this is going to work? I trial and tested myself. I trial and test with my private clients, with my business only clients. And building a business over the past 5 years has really taught me that things are trial and error. There is no one fits all. And I will say this time and time with all the women that come into this mastermind is, if a coach or someone on the internet is telling you this is the only way to do it, they're talking in definitives, run, look the other way, don't invest. I give guidance to my clients. I point out their blind spots. I also make them aware, hey, this is a pattern that's coming up, or why don't you try tweaking this? See how it goes. I never say do this and this is how you're going to make X amount, or this is how you're going to change this belief, or this is how you're going to work on this in your relationship. Never. There's no such thing as definitives in my coaching. My coaching is highly rooted in the law of polarity, duality. Without one, you can't have the other, and you need to come to a neutral point to be able to learn and teach. So that's something else I've learned. There's no definitives. I've definitely gotten into the place where I have picked up different things on the internet from coaches where I'm like, that must be the right thing. And at the end of the day, this goes back to what I was saying, the first pillar, identity. You know yourself, you trust yourself, you know what inspires you. You will be able to create an impact in this world. Whatever you do, you will be able to create a movement, a legacy, build a legacy for yourself. As an extension of that, you make the money that you deserve. The more impact and the more that you serve people will directly correlate how much money you make, how much income you make. You also get the bonus program if you sign up to. It is Match for Money program. I ran that program a couple of months ago. It's insane. So you also get the money mindset aspect of business, of normal day life as well. It's not just applied to business. And I've been doing such a huge reflection. I didn't quite know where this live was going to go today, but been doing such a huge reflection on the coaching industry over the past couple of years. And so much has changed in the industry, in the economy, on social media, the things what you have to do, should do, have to do, want to do. But I promise you, being able to align, like getting to know yourself, your values, your inspiration, and align that with your sales processes, with your messaging, with your content. There is a reason that I am so consistent with content. I think over the past 5 years, I've posted on at least one platform here: TikTok, YouTube, email marketing, DM. Like, I have sold and posted daily, nearly every single day. The days that I probably miss out are days that I'm probably on a plane and the time zone changes. Or if I've been, maybe there might have been a moment when I had the sea back in 2021, or was it 2020? I got it. 2021, I think. But apart from that, I have shown up consistently. I teach you this, and it's not a trick. It's not a 5 steps to show up consistently to create content. Become the CEO with personalized feedback. Yes, we work as a mastermind, we work as a group, but I teach you exactly, like, how do you get to know yourself as a business owner? How do you get to create yourself as a business owner? How do you become the CEO of your business and your life and create an impact? Because I promise you, what you are doing now with your business, you can make it so much bigger. So much bigger. Yes, the money is great. We're not going to deny that. But do you know what's better? Creating something that you are so insanely proud of. Creating something as a female entrepreneur that makes an impact, whether it's an impact in your community or global. Creating a business, and this is what I found is the most important thing for me, creating a legacy, waking up every day being so excited to show up, make an impact, and do things that are truly inspiring. Like, how incredible is it that we live in the age where we can make money off the internet, but we can do it in a way that is inspiring, that's in alignment with our values, and that also makes an impact. From there, you get to design your life. A lot of my clients are single mums with businesses, and one of my clients, old client, she built an incredible business up to 6 figures and was still taking her boys on international trips and doing things with it. Like, this is so much bigger than let's make X amount a month. It's about being able to create the life you want. Starting a business is the best thing I ever did for myself. Best thing I ever did for myself. But I'm never ever going to sit here and try and convince anyone. I know there are careers for a reason. And if you're like, I love my career, that's great. Fun fact, my partner, he loves his career. He is so inspired by it. And I respect that. And if this is you, right? And I think there's a lot of people who come in the internet like, the business is the only way. Don't ever work for someone else, right? I have that belief because I'm just not that person. However, I see people like some of my clients, my partner, my friends are so deeply inspired by what their careers are that I'm like, why would you change that? You are lit up, like, you love it. But as a business owner, if you're listening to this is what I want you to find. This is the importance of it, is building a business that is like, it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than let's hit this monetary goal. It's so much bigger. That when I say like this, become the CEO is all about, scaling to consistent 10 to 30K months. That's great. There's your start. But it's so much bigger than that. It's about creating something for yourself. Like, creating a business, building a business, scaling a business changed my life. I'm living in my dream apartment. Last year, I went to Europe for 2 months with my partner. In July this year, we went on an African safari for 3 weeks. I took the whole 3 weeks off. But it's bigger than that. I can pay for the gym that I really want to go to. I can pay, I really suffered with hormonal acne. over the past couple of years. I was able to pay for treatments, for whether it's facials or going to see a naturopath. I'm able to pay my rent, my groceries. I'm able, to in 2 days' time, I am going out to a boozy lunch with a new friend and her partner and my partner. So it's not just like, let's make all this money. And it's like, no, it's like, what is the life you want to design? If you are mom, do you want to take your kids out on holidays, big holidays, and not have to save up for, years? Do you want to be able to, if they not say no in the sense of like, you want to play soccer and you also want to do painting classes? Let's do that. We're not restricted by funds. Do you also want to create something where you log off at 3 p.m.? Also, not saying that businesses don't take discipline and focus, they do. But do you want to create one where it's like, I'm going to be logging off by 3 p.m. so I can be present with my kid? I can take my kid to the park, or I can do this, X, Y, Z. Think about what your version of success is. And that, that's really what I have to do with. I connect with that version of success every day, every single day. And it doesn't mean I sit there journaling for hours. Sometimes I'm literally like tomorrow I start calls early. I'm going to sit there for 15 minutes, 10 minutes probably. Just connect with my version of success, what I'm creating, what is the impact that I'm making. Building and scaling a business, like what will it cost you to stay the same? And I know you may have heard this before. Again, whether it's in coming into work with me, become the CEO, or like anything else, this can be applied to your fitness, your relation. I had to have this conversation before I met my current partner. I had to have this conversation with myself. Drink break. Any questions, let me know. I had to have this conversation with myself before I met and attracted my partner. What will it cost to stay the same, in the same attitude towards men, in the same way of being when it comes to dates, in the same way that I'm talking about men to the friend? What will it cost? You know what it will cost me? It will cost me attracting the same emotionally unavailable man over and over and over again and feeling further and further away from attracting someone. When I actually went through what that cost me to keep doing the same shit and not actually do the work. People think doing the work is lighting some incense and a candle and doing journaling. That's not doing the work. When you come and work with me, you learn what doing the work it actually is. I was on my mastermind call with some of my clients last week, and I had given some feedback, and they're like, "Jess, you're savage, but I love it because I actually get shit done. It's not fluffy, airy fairy talk. We're not here for that." I always say to my private one-on-one clients before they sign with me, I say, you know what? I'm not going to say this is going to be a walk in a park. I'm going to be very, very honest with you because I want you to get to where you want to get. Bit of tough love, if you will. But you have to be honest. What is it going to cost to stay the same? I have had these conversations with myself time and time again, and I wanted to give you the relationship example because that can just be used for everywhere, for anything that you can think about when it comes to your life in different areas of your life. But for me, I think when the real crux of actually being able, everyone's always like, how did you just quit your job and move to Bali? If you don't know, I had $700 in my savings. $680 of that actually went to the first month in the villa in Bali. So $20, like I had to make it work, right? And when people say to me, how did you do that? How did you do that? How? Could never. I could never. And you know what? Back in those times, I really, again, I had to think, what's the cost of staying the same? Every day I'm waking up, I'm hating this job. I get the Sunday scaries. I'm unfulfilled in my relationships. I'm like not progressing. I've been a very spiritual person since I was like, I don't know, 12, but I felt like I wasn't progressing. Sometimes, and this is what I teach you in the pillar of CEO identity, because it's rooted in my woman mastery methodology, which is about mastering yourself as a woman. You need to have these hard conversations. You need to. I put out to the waitlisters today for Become the CEO. Waitlisters, it's open. They get a few bonuses as the waitlist. And if you are watching this live, what I will say, even though the waitlist is shut, if you are watching this live and you are like, I need to get into Become the CEO, and you want the waitlist bonuses, slide into my DMs, tell me you watch this live, and I will still allow you to get those bonuses, even though it's technically shut. But one of the women, she signed up. I reckon it was like 4 minutes after I'd sent the email, because she's like, I'm ready. What am I going to keep doing? Trying? Doing the same thing? That's the type of women that I attract and that come in to work with me. And so if you want to just take this for overall business understanding, is like, what do you need to do if your business isn't where you want it to be? If you're like, well, I was building this for freedom and like I'm chained to my desk and I'm doing this, which again, I will insert, it does require discipline and it does require focus to build a business alongside all the other things that I've mentioned today. But where do you need to get out of your own way? Where do you truly need to get out of your own way and own the fact that the things you're doing right now isn't going to get you to where you want to be? It's not. If you have been in the same place, 6 months is stretching it. If you've been in the same place for the last 90 days and nothing has really dramatically shifted, like you can honestly truly change your life in 90 days. And I don't mean like, oh, all of a sudden I'm a millionaire. I mean, every timeline is possible, right? Every quantum leap is possible. But I mean, you can see significant change. I've seen it with my clients. One of my clients, she's been working with me now a year, but within the first 3 months, I was like, who is this woman? Who is this? Completely different. Building a business, a movement, a legacy, something that's my own. I think that's the most important. That's, I come back to it all of the time. Like, this is my own. This is my baby. I get to create. I get to have conversations like this. How incredible is this? I get to show up and have these conversations. I still have a lot of conversations with some of my friends who still don't get like what I do, or don't understand the selling and all of that, which is fine, right? It's not for me to make them understand that they're on different timelines. But I remember back in my first year of business, I remember going to a social event and someone said to me, "Oh, does your little business actually make real money?" And that comment's really stuck with me. Not because I have resentment or I'm like stewing over it and I'm like hating that, but no, that person's still in my life, is still a friend. I know they meant it out of jest. But I always think about that because I think, you know what, I created something that a lot of people don't want to believe in. But I believed in myself. I believed in what I wanted to create when it came to this business. And I said that to my clients the other day, is a foundation of all of this is having faith in yourself. If you can feel that you're meant for this, and not everyone is. Not everyone is. Not everyone is meant to build this. Not everyone is meant to build. And we don't need to be aiming. Like, you don't need to sit here and be like, okay, do I need to aim for like $1 billion company and no. But I want you to aim big. I want you to, that could mean multi-millions, or that could mean that your product is sold in every country in the world, right? You're getting sales from everyone in the world. What is it? Think big. I'm going to leave this here. What is the time? 36 minutes. I was going to do like a 10-minute live. And yes, expect this. When you come into my containers, I always over deliver. I always over teach because I think it's important. I mean, why wouldn't I want to teach this stuff? This has changed my life. This has changed my client's life. It's been insane to witness. I'm going to leave you now. If there are any questions about Become the CEO or any other parts that you want to learn about, definitely just slide into my DMs. If you're watching here on YouTube, all you have to do is leave me a comment, or again, come over to my Instagram and let's have a conversation. Let's see what the best fit is for you. But I appreciate you all. Bye, YouTube. And I will speak to you soon, Instagram.